So severe thunderstorms just south of Woodward. Tornado warning continues for eastern parts of Roger Mills County. It does not include Custer County, but this is your heads up from Clinton, areas in western Custer County, and then farther off to the southwest near Jackson County into Kiowa. This is just north of Altus, a severe thunderstorm. These are going to try to, if they can stay separate, there's going to be larger hail. The tornado threat will continue. It's still fairly low end, but we've already had the tornado warning, likely a rain-wrapped tornado already in Roger Mills County. And if these can form together, well, what's going to happen is we'll have a line of damaging wind that can produce, wind damage similar to low-end tornadoes. If they stay apart, a lot bigger hail, and that tornado threat continues. Let's go to the north side of this, where we still have to keep people, want to keep them aware, northwestern Oklahoma. This is near Woodward, near Moreland, actually. Mike Bennett's watching the northern side, and Mike, I've been looking at some of the latest high-res data. There's still some hints that this might try to take off even further. Go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, we're in Moreland right now getting fuel, but we got some storms coming up into Woods County, western Major County from around the Sharon and Visay area. And so we're going to kind of get positioned on those after we get fuel here, and just in case they do something crazy as they move into better moisture, and just kind of get ready for maybe a possible derecho like you was talking about earlier. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's a possibility. It's either going to be, single cells that have their own issues with, large hail, which we've already seen hail over 2 inches, likely to the size of baseballs in some of these areas, just as they moved from the Texas Panhandle into Oklahoma. Torrential rainfall, and that's obscuring what's in the storm. Potential tornadic activity already in Roger Mills County just about 15 minutes ago. Corey Inman had some really low funnels, and a lot of that became rain wrapped. We saw a little hint on the debris detector that something was going on. Let's take it over here to Links 1. Let's go to Links 1. So again, we're on the air right now for the tornado warning that continues in Roger Mills County, keeping people aware of that, and also the storms up near Woodward. And then again, the strongest storm by far is right now into west central Oklahoma, approaching Dewey and Custer counties, actually Ouachita County as well. So heads up there. This is inside the storm. Massive hail core right here. There's the tornado warning. It is still out. It is still active as this continues pushing just farther off toward the east. Yep, tornado warning is still ongoing there. We'll push in a little bit further, a little bit closer to the storm, and put some more cities on the map right here. So Leedy, you're going to get some big hail, okay? The worst of the storm is going to go off to your south, but you're going to get some big hail. We'll go ahead and take a look at what we're seeing here a little bit closer. I'll switch to the advanced radar. So this is up in Enid. It's a little bit closer for you. We're going to look at velocities. So we're going to look at what's going on inside the storm, how things are moving around. And when red and green are close together, that's tight rotation. This has come down, so that's good. The rotation has come down. There's still a tornado warning. Folks in Hammond, it is basically knocking on your door right now, but the rotation has come down slightly, and that's good. Lots of wind blowing out from this right now. Lots of straight line wind rolling into Hammond right now. Highway 33 as well. Let's go back to Corey Inman. Corey, what do you got?
Yeah, Aaron, I'm just to the northwest of Hammond here on 33, and if you notice, we don't have outflow from this storm. This is all inflow, and it's 50, 55 miles an hour blowing back in there. You can see that area of dust that's being blown, and it's now started to lift that dust. I'm going to switch over to the night vision here and look back in there. And earlier you could kind of see the lowering back in there, but there's so much dust and everything that's moved in now. We've even lost, with the night vision, we've lost the structure of the wall cloud. Just looking at the velocities, of course, we were on Amarillo here. Looking at the velocities, they had kind of ticked up just a little bit. But we've lost that blowing dust feature. It kind of blew out and lifted that dust in there. We don't have any more blowing dust. Could be a sign just that we've got some rain in that area where it was picking the dust up. But right now, northwest of Hammond there, we're all inflow at about 50, 55.
So, Corey, you reporting inflow of 50 to 55 miles per hour. What that is, folks, is that's energy that's not rain cooled. All right, it's warm, soupy air that is fuel for the thunderstorm going right into it. And that's going to keep it going. Corey, exactly where are you right now so folks know where this live picture is coming from?
I'm 2 miles northwest of Hammond on 33, and the camera is pointed back to the northwest. So you can see, just looking at the base of the shot here, all of the grass and everything is blowing from southeast to northwest. So that's a strong southeast inflow wind blowing right into that area of circulation.
I mean, that's concerning. That southeast wind with those high dew points blowing right into the storm, that's concerning. Let's go over to Lynx. I'm going to show you exactly where he's at right here. So we just saw his live picture. This is Highway 33. It's an east-west highway right here. Here's Hammond, and here he is looking right into that coming at him, okay? So this is velocity. We're going to look at radar, just regular old radar right here, and again, there it is. Not really the big kind of stinger tail that we had earlier on, so that is good. We had it kind of wrap up and kind of swallow itself, but there might be, right near Hammond, might try to be forming a new circulation, or there might be a new circulation on the back side of this. It's really hard to tell because it's all wrapped in that rain, and just heavy rain. Morewood, there's a big amount of hail coming in right now, very, very big. Let's go to Amarillo radar, which is just going to be off to the west of it by quite a bit, but it's going to get a clear shot into the backside of this, and yeah, it's just completely wrapped in rain. We'll switch to velocity on that, and it's still there. There's still velocity. North of Hammond, this is now coming more toward Morewood. Okay, so north of Hammond, gosh, that's just about 3 to 4 miles northwest of Hammond. So again, it's moving about east-southeast. That is still some rotation right there. Okay, that's still some rotation. We'll look at shear for that. There's the shear. So the little red areas are areas where the storm is really spinning up on itself. You can see kind of pulsing up and down, but it is now moving into Hammond right now and very much wrapped in rain, which is just very, very hard to see with that. Let's go back to Corey Inman. We'll talk to Eric Dixon here in a second. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, still northwest of Morewood, or I'm sorry, northwest of Hammond, and you were talking about the new area of circulation developing on the backside, and that's kind of what you're seeing there. Has kind of come out of the south side of that rain shaft. The original circulation is still back to the north, almost due west of the Morewood area. But this new circulation you can see has kind of formed here just to the northwest of Hammond. So we're right here in a good spot if anything happens. But like you said, that north circulation we really can't see because of all the rain and the hail back in there. But this thing, Aaron, is just north of 33 and it's going to be about a half a mile to my west here, so it's going to be just to the northwest of Hammond.
Yeah, I mean, you're right on top of it. You got a great view, that's for sure, but there's just so much going on in that storm with rain and very large hail that it's hard to see what is going on. We really likely had a tornado that was wrapped in rain about 20 minutes ago in north central Roger Mills County. Corey had that shot for us live. He had some funnels and the rain curtains wrapped in. We had some concerning things on our debris detector, so there likely was a rain-wrapped tornado already, and now it's just continuing to kind of wrap up. Corey, as we're looking at that, you were talking about the inflow is very strong. Can you visually see this thing spinning? Because the whole storm is spinning. Is that easy to see, or is that pretty tough to see?
Yeah. I mean, you can see it, Aaron. The whole thing is turning, and if you look down at the ground again, we're starting to get that blowing and lifting dust right back up into that new area of circulation. So we still have the strong inflow winds here at about, I'm going to say they're about 35 now, 35, 40. But that area of lifting dust there under that new circulation definitely bears watching here as it slides off to the east.
And that tone that we're all hearing right now on your weather radio, that's actually a new tornado warning that's been extended farther off toward the east. It now includes Custer County. It does not include the city of Clinton, but it is stopped just short of there. The Weather Service likely just kind of waiting on that to see what this does. But if you're in Clinton, I'll tell you right now, it's time to really start to enact your tornado precautions, start to get to your safe place, let your family and friends know where you are and what you're going to do, and make that plan happen. Lowest level of the building that you're in, away from windows. Mobile homes are not safe. They're great houses, but they're not safe during tornadic winds. Let's kind of do an overview here of, actually, let's go to Eric Dixon real quick, then we'll go to Max 3. So Eric Dixon on right now and Max 3.
Hey, Aaron, yeah, approaching Clinton right now, I'm off on 40, kind of head a little bit west to kind of get a little better view here. But, like you're saying, the folks ahead of this line, you got Clinton, Weatherford, Arapahoe, they expect this storm to, come into the area, it may not be a tornado warning.
All right, Eric, we're going to take over for you right now. Having a little trouble hearing your audio, but again, he's approaching I-40 and the Clinton area, and Clinton just outside the new tornado warning that's been extended. So we'll go to Max 3, check in with, we'll go to Corey Inman in just a second, but we're going to go to Max 3. I want to show everyone what's going on. Overall picture right here. It's just a hot afternoon and evening in north central Oklahoma, central parts of the state, south central Oklahoma. Thunderstorms out west, they have really taken advantage of all this and formed very quickly. The strongest thunderstorm continues with the tornado warning now into Custer County. So there it is. Other severe thunderstorms off to the north affecting Visay, moving towards Sealing. For you folks, we're talking about golf ball sized hail. Okay, there is some rotation here, so Sealing, watch out, not in the warning just yet. But this warning now stops just short of Clinton, and this thing is going to ride right along Highway 33. Okay, so a good about 15, 20 miles north of I-40. Highway 33 is where it's riding along. And look at this, the hail sizes, yeah, they've jumped up again. All right, so we're over golf ball, approaching baseball again. This has a history of producing baseball-sized hail just as it moved into Oklahoma. It's trending that way again, okay? So this is moving Hammond, basically right overhead. Butler, you're right in the track of this. Okay, so Butler, you need to call people, let them know. If they don't know, you got to take your tornado precautions right now. Let's go to Corey Inman real quick. I want to take a look at that video here. Corey Inman, right near Hammond. What do we got there, Corey?
Yeah, this is that back circulation that you were talking about developed, and I was trying to get the attention there. I don't guess anybody heard me. We had a quick funnel there, came out of this back circulation just a few minutes ago. Lasted probably 30 seconds, but you can see that whole thing's it's slowly spinning. And every time it tries to cycle, it just increases the intensity of the spin. And this is going to pass just to the north of Hammond, Aaron, between Hammond and Moorwood, and like you said, eventually on over towards the Butler area.
Okay, let's hang with the shot for a little bit. Look at this. Look what's going on. You can actually see it rotating. A little bit of a horizontal roll right here. And a lot of times what you'll get is the storm ingesting a lot of this inflow. It'll stretch out, and you'll get a tornado to come down. So Corey was reporting that we just had a funnel at least, possibly another touchdown. We had a rain-wrapped tornado about 20 to 25 minutes ago, north central Roger Mills County. It looks like it's trying to do it again. So we've got very low-hanging clouds right here. Tornado warning continues now as this moves into Custer County, just short of Clinton. The tornado warning does not include Clinton. If you're in Clinton, if you're near there, take your tornado precautions. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, we're looking back due northwest of Hammond. You can see this is another area that came out of that back circulation. You can see it lifting the dust up out of the ground there. That is a funnel, and that thing's turning. It's pulling the dust up on the north side of it, kind of blowing in and lifting it on the north side of the funnel here. And like I said, this thing it cycles, produces a new funnel, cycles again, and produces a bigger funnel. You can see the dust being lifted right into that area of circulation. Looks like that funnel is going to go ahead and gust out like the other ones have done. But like I said, each time it does it produces a bigger funnel. And this is going to be 2 miles northwest of Hammond, just north of 33. We've got another little cone funnel that's getting ready to form here, just to the left of the dust that's being lifted up into that mesocyclone area.
Okay, so here's the dust that he's talking about. There's the dust. It's kind of moving away. We're going to watch here for a little bit of a funnel left of that dust. That might be it coming down right now. Let's see if we can take this full. Can we take this full? There we go. There's a funnel right there. This is just north of Hammond. Okay, it's just north of Hammond, moving right down Highway 33. Folks in Butler, this is what's coming toward you right now. Okay, intermittent tornado touchdowns. Tornado warning does include Butler. It includes much of Custer County. It is moving out of Roger Mills County into Custer County. Intermittent tornado touchdowns. Corey, go ahead and let us know what you got. Also, I'm looking at the bottom part of your picture. We just saw that funnel. We see the dust right now. We see it live. How has the inflow changed?
Actually, if you look on the screen here, Aaron, the inflow is actually almost went calm, which is not favorable to keep the tornado potential up like it was. We've got maybe a 5 to 10 mile an hour wind out of the southeast, but that dust it's not being pulled in like it was when we had that funnel there. It's just kind of
I'm looking at the top of your screen. Hey Corey, I'm looking at the top of your screen right now, and with your winds calm, do you see anything really near you or above you kind of lifting upward? Because you might be close to a new developing circulation here. If your inflows come down, and I'm seeing some of these clouds at the top of the picture that appear to be rotating, do you see anything right there?
Yeah, that's just right out the window here, Aaron. Just to the north of 33. That's if you look back towards the bottom, you've got another area of dust that's being pulled right up into that area. That area of dust is turning, Aaron, as it's on the ground. So that's got to be a tornado. It's going up, spinning. I'm going to zoom in here That area of dust is being pulled straight up and it's spinning, and it's just below that area of circulation.
Okay. Yep. I think. Yep. We're looking at the dust right here. There's some dust central. This is going up spinning, so we're likely looking at what is another developing tornado right now. He's zooming in on it. This is Corey Inman. He's near Hammond right now. You can see it being pulled up into the mesocyclone. Look at the spin right there. There's a tornado on the ground right now. So this is near Hammond, just off to the north of Highway 33, exiting Roger Mills County, going into farther western Custer County. There's the dust. It's being spun up a little bit as it's being pulled up into the storm. If you're in Butler right now, tornado precautions. This thing is strong. The whole mesocyclone, the whole storm is rotating. And look at the pieces of dust that are getting picked up right now. Corey, are we looking at a funnel here? It looks like the center, maybe left of center part of the screen. Go ahead.
Yeah, it looked like a small funnel, Aaron, but that's actually back behind the area of circulation. The main area of circulation is just to the north out my window here, and you can see all that dust being lifted and wrapped around it. It's pulling that dust in there from left to right and pulling it up into the mesocyclone, and you can see that whole thing is just turning. Aside from the dust, we don't really have anything on the ground. There's not really a cone funnel or anything there. It's sucking all that dust from left to right and pulling it up and wrapping it around that mesocyclone.
Look at that. Wow. So let's keep Corey's shot. I like that shot that we just had with Corey on the bigger side here. And I'm just going to kind of talk you through this while we watch Corey's video. And then if we can double box Max 3 into there. So I want to let folks know where this is. Okay. So right here on the left-hand side of your screen, I'm zooming this in. So it is just cleared Hammond. It is just off to the east of Hammond, right down Highway 33, right toward Butler. Okay. So here's the hail core, very large, golf ball to softball sized hail. Here's the rotation. There it is, right just north of Hammond. It just missed Hammond by about 2 to 3 miles. That's exactly what Corey Inman's saying. The rotation center is moving right down Highway 33, just north of it, toward Butler. You just got a couple minutes in Butler. It's coming right toward your direction right now, and it continues eventually Arapahoe and Clinton. It might miss Clinton off to the north. It might wobble to the south. This has had a history of kind of taking right-hand turns. Let's go back to Corey Inman. We've had intermittent tornado touchdowns. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, this is actually still to the northwest of Hammond, not by far, but it hasn't crossed the highway yet. I'm still northwest of Hammond, and it's due north of me, so it should be crossing the highway there, going from Hammond to Morewood, probably within the next minute or two. But this is still to the northwest of Hammond, even just barely. We still got some lifting dust in there, but I don't see the rotation like we had the last time you came to me, where we were blowing all that dust in there and wrapping it around that mesocyclone. So we're going to have to reposition to the east and kind of keep up with this thing. So let us reposition and we'll get you another shot here shortly.
All right, appreciate that. Corey, what's likely happening is this is developing another circulation on the backside of the mesocyclone. So it kind of occluded on itself, which means it wrapped up on itself, kind of choked things out, and it's likely recirculating on the back side of this. So let's go to links and kind of show people what's going on. Again, if you're just joining us, there's no severe weather in central Oklahoma. Now, however, this is off to the west, and it is moving in that general direction. It's moving along 20 to 25 miles per hour, not really that fast. So tornado warning. This is all of western Custer County. Okay, so that's been extended. Tornado warning for western Custer County. And we're talking about Hammond. That's right where Corey Inman is. So Hammond and Morewood. There's Hammond, there's Morewood. What's happened is the circulation has kind of gotten sucked into it. There it is, it went away. And it's trying to redevelop on the backside right here. So it is still just off to the north and northwest of Hammond. So here's Highway 34. Here's Highway 33. It is just off to the north and west of that. So Hammond, still tornado precautions. Sometimes these take a right-hand turn as they strengthen. We've already seen that happen multiple times earlier on today. That has happened. Let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to use the Vance radar here. We're going to look at velocity inside of this thing. So there's the velocity. Again, it's kind of muddy, but it is there. All right, so there's that circulation. There it is, north and west of Hammond, south of Morewood. We hope this continues to go in between of them. Highway 34, no one should be on Highway 34 between Morewood and Hammond right now. Okay, let's look at shear. Here's the shear. pretty close to Morewood. Shear also enhances hail sizes. So we're talking about very large hail up to the size of baseballs moving across Highway 34 from Morewood to Hammond to Highway 33. That's the junction of 34, 33 Hammond Junction right there. So again, this is not moving really that fast at all. As far as hail, yeah, there's plenty of hail with it. Here's the hail, last 1 hour of hail moving right there. So Morewood is just getting a lot of hail right now. This whole thing is absolutely rain wrapped. We're going to switch here to Frederick, take a look at velocities from another radar down off to the south. It's broad rotation, but you can kind of see it shifting into the backside of the system, placing the developing tornado just north, barely just north of Hammond, the junction of 33 and 34 highways right there. Let's go here. Let's take a look at who we've got. Let's go back to Corey. It looks like some more blowing dust. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Aaron. We're still looking to the north. It's almost due north of Hammond now. You were talking about that new mesocyclone that was starting to form after it occluded, and that's exactly what happened. And it started blowing and spinning that dust in there, and now it's kind of going through an occlusion process again. At times, there was one that almost looked anticyclonic in there, but and now here at our location, we're starting to get some outflow winds. So the RFD is definitely starting to cut in and wrap around it. But there's still a pretty good area of spin that's going to be due north of the Hammond area. Should be crossing the highway now. So we're going to slide over towards Butler, Aaron.
Okay, yeah, Butler's in the tornado warning right now. Butler, Custer County, western parts of Custer County. Really got to be aware this is going right down and just north of Highway 33 right now. Rear flank downdraft winds wrapping into this thing, kind of keeping the circulation going for sure. Let's take a Max 3 right here real quick and take an overall view, and then we're going to go to Mike Bennett because we want to watch the thunderstorms that are also severe in northwestern Oklahoma. We're watching those. So 2 thunderstorms watching very carefully here, just south of Vici, north of Leedy, Highway 34. And then 34 and 33, the Hammond Junction, that tornadic circulation is right there. It is right there just north of Hammond. So there's the hail very much staying alive, not coming down at all. We're talking about, at the minimum, golf ball-sized hail, more likely closing in on softball-sized hail. So there's the circulation. There it is, kind of wrapping up. Gosh, it is really close to Hammond. Folks in Hammond, you've got to stay in your tornado shelter right now. Interior room, a bathroom, someplace without windows, a room that's small. Also, folks in Butler, anyone that is east of Hammond on Highway 33, you got to stay in that shelter right now. So there's the circulation passing just north of Hammond. It is not particularly tight. That is good, but it has had a history of that. You can see right there. That's where we had the tighter circulation. Right there, where the green comes in contact with the red, those are different velocities wrapping together in that circulation. So tiny community of McClure, right there, Highway 33 to Butler. This is your heads up. Velocity, debris actually, we've not really seen much. That's the dust. We're picking up on the dust that Corey's seeing. That's what this is right here. This green, that is a little bit of dust and some hail. And there's the rotation again. Butler, 709, not too far down the road. Take your tornado precautions right now. If it holds together and continues the path, Clinton just after 7:30, and then closer to I-40 as it rolls along. Other thunderstorms that are severe off to the north, closer to Woodward and just off to the east. Let's go to Mike Bennett and track those.
Okay, Aaron, yeah, we're making our way to Sealing from Bouse Junction, closing in on Chester here, but this Camargo storm's got a little bit of rotation back at the back side of it, northwest of Camargo. It's broad on GR level 3, but we're going to make our way down there as it could possibly intensify as it moves into the better dew points. And so that's what we're doing right now is making a repositioning on a new storm. Storms further north of us have completely decayed. Back to you.
All right, appreciate that, Mike Bennett. Up to the north. Let's go to let's go to Eric Dixon real quick, then we'll talk to Corey Inman, who's on that tornadic warning cell near Hammond. But first, Eric Dixon, go ahead.
Hey, Aaron, I'm on I-40 just west of Clinton here. What you see is that storm that Corey's on right there. I'm going to kind of stay in position here. If it comes down towards the Clinton area, we'll have a good coverage over here on this as it's coming down the I-40 area possibly. Hopefully, maybe hugging it a little bit north of it, but we're going to watch it and see what its trends is. But, folks down the line, we got Clinton, Weatherford, Arapahoe, Custer City. We don't have any warning from those areas, but just keep aware that these are evolving warning. They're going to be in the area soon, and they're mean storms. They've had a lot of hail, a lot of high winds. We've had some tornado warnings, but we could have some high wind event with these storm cells. So we're going to follow it as it heads east towards the city. Aaron?
All right, appreciate that report. Let's go to Max 3 briefly, take a look at what's going on. Again, the strongest thunderstorms, just powerhouse storms right here. Basically stretching from Sealing and Visay. Mike Bennett's coming into Sealing. He's going to watch the northern side of this. This does have a hail threat with it. South of Bouse Junction to Sealing. That's going to come up the Northwest Passage here. And then Thomas and Clinton. Clinton is just on the edge of this tornado warning right now. Okay, so we're closing in on 7 o'clock. It's 6:54 right now in the evening. This is why we're on the air. We've already had a couple touchdowns, brief touchdowns, as this moved from Roger Mills County toward Custer County in a rain-wrapped tornado about 35 minutes ago in northern parts of Roger Mills County. So this is approaching the Clinton area right now, Hammond and Thomas as well, very, very close. Let's go back to Corey Inman again, right on top of this, Highway 33. Go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, just east of Hammond on 33, the area of rotation has cleared Hammond to the northeast. It's about a 3/4 of a mile to a mile north of 33. And looks to be almost tracking due east. So may even stay to the north of Butler, but people in Butler definitely need to pay attention. Just kind of going through a cycling phase here, Aaron. There's one area of some localized tighter spin, but there's quite a bit of broad rotation around that one area. So we're going to continue to slide east with it and see what happens here. Back to you.
All right, appreciate that. Yeah, it is definitely cycling right now, and that's what these things do. They, we had, again, several funnels, rain-wrapped tornado about 35, 40 minutes ago in central parts of Roger Mills County, which is right there. This storm off to the south, it's not severe. It was severe. It's coming down a little bit. We're going to see what this does as it slides off to the north and east. It might interact with this. If they join, we're going to go from a supercell structure to more of a line structure, which would be damaging winds. If we get a cold pool behind this, that would be a damaging wind threat as we come closer to central Oklahoma. However, the cap is stronger the farther east this goes, so we're hoping within the next hour to two that this starts to run out of steam. But we're also fighting something called the low-level jet. That happens near sunset, where winds increase, instability and energy increases into the storm. That is what we do not want, okay? So there's a lot of variables that are going on here with this whole complex. So let's again kind of take a closer inspection on that tornadic-borne storm that is in Custer County. So there it is. It might be trying to, just based on this radar presentation, might be trying to form another little bit of a notch right here. Again, this is going to be really close to Butler. Folks in Butler got to be in your storm-safe area right now. Mobile homes are great homes, but they're not suitable during times of tornadoes. Hey, let's go back to Corey Inman real quick. I want to take a look at that. Take Corey Inman full. Corey, what do you got right there?
Yeah, that's the new development that you were just talking about. That's due north of 33. Let me give you my exact location here. 3 miles east of Hammond on 33, and that's due north of me. And that thing developed just since you talked to me 2 minutes ago. So there's a lot of spin in there. Really starting to get tight there at the cloud base. So we may have another tornado develop here at any time, and this is going to track directly towards the Butler area, Aaron.
Folks in Butler, this is it. We're giving you the warning right now. You're seeing this live right here. Developing tornado, Highway 33. It's coming right down Highway 33. It's moving toward Butler. You do not have much time right now. You can see the big supercell on the left-hand side of your screen. This is Corey Inman's shot. This is a clear shot. You're looking at it right now here on News 4 as a possible tornado. This is really close to reaching the ground right here. This is really close. There is rotation increasing. Corey Inman, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Aaron. Actually, visually, it looks like it may be trying to gust out, and it's going to cycle again. You can kind of see it blowing out to the right there, but still have a pretty strong mesocyclone there. Just trying to glance back in there and don't see anything extending to the ground that would say tornado. You can kind of see the right side of it there blowing out, but man, this thing just continues to evolve the further east that we go. So heads up, Butler. This thing's coming right down 33, Aaron. It's probably, I'm going to say, a half a mile just to my north here on 33.
Man, Corey, we're watching this right here with you. It's just changing so quickly. It looks like there's a RFD surge kind of sometimes. The inflow will stop. It appears to gust out sometimes, and then you get the wall cloud right back, and it looks like it's about to drop another tornado. It's really evolving quickly, and we're looking at velocity. It's not really tight. It's not gate to gate, but boy, the whole entire storm is just spinning, really, really spinning ferociously. And there's a lot of rain in there. There's a lot of rain and hail in there. This is, Corey's got an absolute perfect view. A lot of folks will not have this view, okay? There's going to be some hail off to the north of it, some rain and hail off to the north and east, and at times it's been trying to curve a little bit more south and east. Let's come back to, if we can double box that. If we can put Corey in the side of the screen, and we'll go ahead and if we can put links on the big side here, and we'll put Corey on the back side. Our control room is doing an absolute fantastic job today. So here we go. This is Highway 33. We're looking at Custer County. This is west central Oklahoma. This is Roger Mills County. It is left Roger Mills County. Okay, so here's the circulation. Morewood, north and now northeast of Hammond. It is not particularly tight, okay? It's not red on green. That is really good, but the whole thing is spinning. So at the very least, we're talking about hail. Here's the 1 hour hail track for you. I mean, there's no missing that right there. Really, all throughout northwestern, north central Custer County, coming into Butler. Here's the shear. Again, it's pretty much through the roof. I mean, it's continuous shear. So that means that the whole storm is just rotating. Look at the path of shear. All the way through Roger Mills County, rain-wrapped tornado there, continues on. Tornado warning for Custer County. Does not include Arapahoe or Clinton, but if the trend continues, it's again moving that way. At the very least, you're going to have some very, very large hail in some of these areas. So we're watching that carefully. Let's go to the Frederick radar. This again is just giving us a different view, a different perspective. We'll look at velocity. So there it is. Nothing really terribly concerning right now, and that's good. We'll go to Vance, switch to Vance velocity right here. So this is a different radar site. Again, here it comes. The red and the green are not on top of each other, but they're very close. So that tells us the whole storm itself is rotating and cycling, but nothing that indicates absolutely imminent tornado right now. Tornado warning continues because these have evolved. 30 seconds is not that much time for things to change. Let's go back to Corey Inman here real quick. Corey, go ahead.
He's got a good shot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry, Aaron, getting pulled over here to get you a good look at it, and you can see it's kind of gusted out since we talked last. We've lost that blocky feature that we had just a few minutes ago. You were talking about it kind of drifting to the south, and you're right. When we were talking earlier, I told you it was about 3/4 of a mile to a mile north of 33, and now it's almost right on top of 33. But you can see we're picking up that inflow wind again. I'm going to pan the camera here for you. And there's actually another area of circulation just to the north here. But you can see the inflow winds are back to about 35 miles an hour blowing directly into it. So one area of circulation just to the north here, and the other area of circulation where we had the big blocky feature is getting ready to cross right over the top of me right now. So it's kind of going through a cycling phase. Honestly, the area back to the north looks a little bit better, but don't really see. I mean, it looks better structurally. It just doesn't have a lot of spin with it. So there's just looking at that, there's not a lot of spin at all with it. And if I pan back here, coming right over the top of us is where we've had all the localized spin and that big blocky wall cloud just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, man, the feature up to the north that you're showing us right there as the camera spins around. I mean, you look at that, and you can see the whole spin of the supercell. You can see that right here. See the edge of it? Whole thing is spinning. I mean, that looks real scary right there at first glance, but it's just not rotating down to the surface. Corey, you're talking about the inflow winds coming up again. You've had them, up to 50 miles per hour sometimes. Right now, what is the direction of those winds that have kind of surged up into this thing?
Now, right now they're out of the southeast, Aaron. Southeast blowing into it at about 30 to 35, which is what we had back to the east of the Hammond area. And then, they just kind of quickly died there. I'm going to say now we're back on the road sliding east. They're blowing in there probably about 20, 25 out of the southeast. So when they kicked up there, that's why I kind of focused my attention there to the north, because I thought maybe we might have something spin up there. But there just wasn't a lot of spin at all with that feature to the north. The main area of rotation was right there on top of us.
Well, that's really good. That's what we'd like to see is not a lot of spin close to the ground, but yes, the whole storm is spinning. Tornado warning continues till 7:15 for western into central and north central Custer County. It's not including Clinton, but Clinton, if you're listening right now, tornado precautions, at the very least, you're going to get some very large hail nearby. Let's go over to links right now and take a look here. Again, this is the circulation that we're looking at. This is Custer County right here. So we've got Arapahoe. Go farther off to the south, there's Clinton, just to kind of get your orientation. Behind me would be Oklahoma City. This direction off to the left here, that would be toward the Texas Panhandle. So here's the tornado warning in red. There's a circulation. It's now cleared Hammond. It cleared off to the north. It continues off to the east into Custer County. It's not completely tight. It's not completely wrapped up. That is certainly good, but it is definitely there as we're watching this continue moving off to the east. It's only moving at about 25 miles per hour. It's really not moving that fast. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the center of that circulation right about there. And then we're going to put track on this, again, moving fairly slowly. So Butler, 7:19, not too far from now. Tornado warning goes till 7:15. We're going to see if we continue that on or not. But again, at the very least, damaging, destructive, severe thunderstorm with very large hail inside of this. Okay, so we're going to kind of switch here to the radar. This shows us where the heaviest rain, the heaviest hail would be, and a very large hail core just off to the north. You know, you look at this actually, you look at this presentation, and it does appear like it's trying to get more of that stinger tail right there. So, yep, it looks like, and with Corey saying that he's getting more inflow, look at that. So north of Butler, here's the inflow coming into it. It's wrapping up inside of there, and watch it spin. That's the air coming around. It's starting to spin again north of Butler. You can see that right here. I'm going to kind of take this. I'm going to take this down. We're going to go a little bit shorter. We're going to go a 15-minute loop right here. I'm going to go ahead and play that, so you can actually see the thunderstorm kind of spinning and wrapping up in itself. Here it is. There's that new circulation right there. So north of Butler by about 8 to 10 miles right now. Not moving that fast. It's moving due east again, but a lot of times as these things anchor and they really start to wrap up on themselves, they do take a farther south and east turn. That's happened with this already. It's taken a far south and east turn. So let's go ahead and we'll take a look at some of the velocities. So Twin Lakes, we're going to look at velocity, what's happening inside the storm. Yeah, there's rotation right there. I mean, that's for sure. It's still broad right now, still broad, but we have had many funnels with this. We've had that for sure. We've had funnels, and we'll switch to Vance here, take a look at that radar. We'll switch to Frederick, which is southwestern Oklahoma. Look at that. Again, it's broad rotation east of Morewood right now, but again, it looks like it's trying to really cycle right now. Let's go back to Corey Inman. Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, just coming into the west side of Butler, cameras pointed back to the north and northwest. Like you said, just going through a cycling feature here. Looks like we're going to have another big blocky wall cloud that's going to form just to the north of Hammond, and the inflow winds into this thing continue to increase. They're blowing so hard here as I'm going east on 33 that it's rocking the truck. So looking at the trees and everything, I'm gonna estimate those are 50 to 55 mile an hour winds that are blowing into that area of circulation that you see back there. So I'm going to try to get east of Butler here and get set up for a shot, because this thing just looks better and better all the time, Aaron. Just over the last 10 minutes, you know, it'll, like we've been saying, it'll form a wall cloud, maybe a funnel, then it'll cycle, and now we've got another beefy wall cloud just it's going to be due north of Butler right now, Aaron.
So, Corey, right now the dew point in Butler is 65, and Hinton it's 68, and we're approaching 70-degree dew points closer to the Oklahoma City metro. So that's really concerning, and what that means is that, you know, this is a really powerful storm in Custer County with the tornado warning approaching Butler that has mid-60s dew points, where there's even more energy the farther off toward the east that you go with this, okay? So let's go to links real quick. Corey's going to set up a shot right here. We've got Eric Dixon coming into Clinton, too. We're going to talk to him. So there is a severe thunderstorm. This has just kind of regained severe status right now. This is off to the south in Ouachita County. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. Depending on what this does, if it tries to merge with this storm, we might have a bowing line segment and a wind threat. If it stays by itself, this might try to strengthen again as it comes into this more favorable environment. But for this storm, I want to let folks know, if you're in Corn, Colony, areas like that, Dill City, expect golf ball-sized hail. So this continues moving up. Let's go to Corey Inman. Let's go to his stream right now.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm about a mile to the east of Butler. here on 33. Just pulled over, so give it a second, and the shot will catch up. But that's one big beefy wall cloud back there, just to the north of Butler. It's got a little bit of spin at the cloud base, but not real tight like what we had earlier. Still getting that inflow wind. You can see the trees there blowing in the shot. The inflow is probably it's pushing 50, blowing right back into that area of circulation. So this is due north of Butler. I'm 1 mile east of Butler on 33 and looking back just over my shoulder here. So if anything happens here, Aaron, we're going to be in a perfect spot.
It's looking better and better right there.
All right, appreciate that report. Let's go to John Slater. He's going to have some of the latest on Max. Are you on Max 2?
Yep.
John Slater here helping us with this continued tornado warning and severe weather event.
That's right. Taking a look at a big picture here, if you're just joining us, you can see there's some big storms up in Kansas. We have that one tornadic supercell close to I-40 north of Clinton, and another storm trying to merge down to the south. So these are pretty isolated, but very severe. We'll zoom on in. Here's this one tornadic supercell. You can see it now. It looks like it's staying mainly north of I-40 at this point, moving east-southeast, so watching it closely. It's got that tornado warning with it. Aaron, you can still see a very strong circulation just north of Butler right now. You can see it right there, moving east-southeast. So if we're going to see a tornado, that's the area of concern. That's heading towards Arapahoe and west of Custer City. So folks, Custer City, Arapahoe, heading in that general direction. The hail is not too large right now. It seems to be coming down a little bit, Aaron. And there's that other storm to the south you've been watching. Again, it's heading up towards Cordell. It looks like it could be a merger coming on here as those storm systems are sort of aiming at each other. Aaron, back to you.
Yeah, and we'll see if that's a destructive or constructive cell merger.
Yeah.
We want it to be destructive, okay? We want it to take things down a notch, and a lot of times that'll happen, but again, we're going to watch it very carefully to see what happens. So let's go back to Corey Inman. Again, tornado warning continues. He's near Butler right now, and this storm is barreling right toward Butler. Folks in Butler, Central Custer County, tornado precautions. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah, Aaron, you're looking right back into that area of circulation due north of Butler. Thing has really started to crank here just since you talked to me last. This might be the most impressive rotation that we've had since back in the roll area. Just continues to increase the rotation of the cloud base here, just due north of Butler. I'm 1 east on 33 here, looking, and it's right over my shoulder here, kind of sliding to the east southeast very slowly. Doesn't have a lot of forward movement with it. I'm going to say it's about a half a mile north of 33 and a half a mile to the east of Butler, Aaron.
So it's east of Butler right now. So it's north and east of Butler. Is that what you're saying, Corey?
Circulation is just north of Butler.
All right. Well, we'll get back with Corey here in just a little bit. But, yeah, this picture really tells the tale. The base of this cloud is not far off the ground. The whole thing is spinning. You can see the whole thing spinning, counterclockwise spin. Let's go briefly to links and come right back here. We're going to talk to Corey in a second. We'll come right back here. This is the storm that we're concerned about. Tornado warning does continue. This is western into central Custer County. There's Butler right there, right in the middle of the spin. So Arapahoe, Clinton, it's not too far away from you. It's moving in your general direction. Let's go ahead and put a track on this. So again, the center of the circulation right near Butler. That's exactly where Corey Inman is. It's not moving that fast. Okay, it's really not. So Arapahoe, 7:41 p.m. We're 7:12 right now. So that gives you about 15 minutes to prepare. Again, these can accelerate. So let's just start taking the tornado precautions right now. Arapahoe and Clinton area. Go ahead and take a look at, we'll go from velocity right now to taking a look at some of our reflectivity on the ground level. And again, we can see that it's definitely spinning up. As of last look here, it had, yeah, there it is, right inside of there. So that is a fairly large circulation, rain-free base inside of there. You can clearly see that. It is just north of Butler right now. Let's go back to Corey Inman. Corey Inman, go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, you were asking if it was east of Butler, and it's due north, and I'm going to say it's about a half a mile to the east of Butler. So the tightest area of rotation has cleared Butler to the northeast. Just looking visually here, Aaron, because we're starting to get that really gusty south inflow winds into it again, southeast. But this is going to be about a quarter of a mile north of 33, and it's almost right on top of me, and I'm a mile east of Butler right now.
Butler's got a wind south-southeast at 52 miles per hour in Mesonet right now, Corey. Right ahead of that, we've got dew points that are increasing the farther east that you go down I-40. That is a really low cloud base right there. And, every time, we've been on the air for quite a while now, every time that you've kind of seen the storm spike and cycle, the south winds and southeast winds have increased. That is inflow coming right into the storm. You can see right here, see that little tail? That's energy being sucked into it. The whole thing is spinning around. And there have been little, almost needle-like funnels that we've been able to see back here. Let's go out back to Corey Inman again. A lot of inflow into this thing, a lot of moisture-rich air being wrapped up into it. What do you got?
Yeah, starting to get some rain actually wrap into that area, Aaron. So we're going to have to slide east, keep a visual on it. Don't see anything, that I would say is a funnel or any tornado on the ground. But it's just kind of sitting in the same spot. Hadn't really moved the last couple of minutes. Just kind of sitting there just to the northeast of Butler and really starting to spin, which is kind of concerning, especially with these southeast winds blowing into it. Like you said, 51 mile an hour gusts there in Butler. So there's a lot of fuel being fed right into that area of circulation.
All right, appreciate that, Corey. Let's come back here to Lynx, and we'll check in with Eric Dixon a little bit. He's approaching Clinton right now. And folks in Clinton, likely you're going to have the sirens sounding very soon if they're not already. Tornado warning now includes Clinton. This has been extended now until 8 o'clock. The storm has really slowed down. It's only going about 15 to 20 miles per hour. It's really slowed down. So it's kind of tough to see, but there's a little extra polygon right there to include Arapahoe and Clinton, which we've been mentioning for a while. But now you're technically in the warning. Now this really needs to cement it in for folks in Clinton and Arapahoe to take those tornado precautions. It might very well go north of Clinton, but again, we've seen as this has really started to spin and get low to the ground, as it has cycled, it has taken an east and southeast turn. That has happened multiple times, so that is why, again, we've extended that tornado warning into Clinton right now. So tornado precautions there. Be very, very careful. Farther off to the north here in Sealing, non-severe thunderstorms up near Woodward and Moreland. There's Sealing over toward Fairview. This is Major County right here. Just a good drink of rain, some lightning and thunder. Speaking of lightning, let's go ahead and take a look at the lightning count. So there's the lightning. We'll turn that on. And here's the counter. This is really important because the higher this number goes right here, the healthier the storm is. And the trend, notice the trend, it's been up. Okay, so we were in the 600s, now we're in the 700s. The lightning rates are coming up, and you can see the curve. See that curve right there? That's the inflow notch. That's where we have the dry area. When air goes up, rain doesn't come down, and that's where we're seeing a lot of that spin right now inside of that storm. So again, this is Custer County. Tornado warning now includes Arapahoe and Clinton. It's really slowed down, moving at only about 15 miles per hour. But again, there's the storm moving very, very slowly through right now. So tornado precautions, interior room, away from windows. A closet or a bathroom is a good place to be during a tornado event if you don't have a basement or underground shelter. There's the rotation. It's fairly broad, but definitely still there. About 10 to 12 miles due northwest of Arapahoe right there. We'll take a look at velocity on Vance. Might be a little further away than that, but still, again, tornado precautions, very, very serious. It's been wrapped in rain from time to time. And here's the Frederick radar. Again, shooting fairly high up in the air, but that does show a little bit more circulation on the last scan due north of Butler. So there it is, basically due north of Butler. There's radar that coincides with where this is wrapping up. So that's radar, that's rain and hail wrapping up in there. Velocity, again, you're seeing the signature right about there north of Butler. Let's go back to Corey Inman. Again, pretty low-hanging wall cloud. What do you got?
Yeah, Aaron, as the rain wrapped in there on the one wall cloud that we were watching, that thing's kind of dissipated, kind of went away right over the top of 33, and we're getting a new one to develop just to the north of 33 here. So this thing's continuing to evolve at a rapid pace. It's not really moving a whole lot, but the evolution of the storm continues to change rapidly. We get one wall cloud, and it'll produce a funnel or two, and then it'll blow out, and we'll get a new one to form. So we're right here tracking it due east down 33. We're about 4 miles to the east of Butler, and everything is just to our north here, Aaron.
It's really following 33, isn't it? It's along and just north of Highway 33. Folks, you don't want to be on Highway 33, and if you're north of there, you got to be in shelter right now. Prepare for hail over 2 inches. That is over golf ball-sized hail. It has a history of producing baseball-sized hail earlier on, and the storm continues to be very strong. Eric Dixon is going to be up next here. He is approaching the Clinton area. Eric, Clinton is now in the tornado warning. Look at the size of that supercell. It looks like a spaceship. Kind of set the scene for us and paint the picture. Go ahead.
Definitely. This whole storm is rotating. You can kind of see kind of that spaceship look as it goes up. It's kind of striation. It's pulling in that deep, real rich, warm moisture into it. What you're looking at is a little bit to the north of Clinton area right now. I went a little bit to the east of Clinton. I'm kind of backtracking a little bit because the storm started slowing down a little bit, so it's kind of adjusting with this storm. So I'm going to go a little bit to the north of Clinton, just briefly there, and then probably have to get back on I-40 and head east with it. But, we're starting to get a good visual here in the Clinton area, so folks in Clinton need to start taking your tornado precautions. I would anticipate, this storm is going to be alive. It may not be a tornado warning. Folks in Weatherford, anybody down I-40 needs to really be aware that the storm is out there, and it's coming, towards central Oklahoma now. It's very strong. It doesn't have any signs of weakening whatsoever. We're here with it, but, it looks like we've got kind of a spaceship in the sky right here. That whole storm is rotating. It's going to hold the hail up in the sky. We're getting these intermittent touchdowns here, so we're going to have to watch this one really closely. I'm out here by Clinton. Aaron?
All right, appreciate that. Yeah, that is just a stunning photo right there with the sunshine coming in behind it. The whole thing is rotating. So here's the bottom. It fans up, so air gets lifted up into it. It fans out in the upper atmosphere, and the whole thing is spinning. He's approaching Clinton, which is, if it keeps taking a little bit more of a right turn, Clinton is definitely in the path of this rotating supercell, possible developing tornado right here. Let's take it over to, let's go back to links, and then we'll check in with Corey Inman. So again, not really tight, absolutely concerning circulation at the moment. That's not what we see. That's Frederick radar. We're going to go to Vance radar. It's a different radar site off to the north. So we'll check out velocity. There it is. It's pretty broad. But broad circulation means the whole entire cloud, the whole storm is rotating. That increases hail sizes. So again, look at shear. There's still some shear right here on shear rate. Continues coming in from the west into approaching central parts of Custer County. This thing is just really crawling around. So there's the shear. It's come down a little bit. Okay, so that's good. It comes down, comes up. It's kind of like a wave. It goes up and down, kind of pulses up and down. As for the presentation of the storm itself, again, there's still a rain-free area now that's north and east of Butler, and that's what Corey Inman's looking at. In fact, let's go over to Corey Inman. Still a really low base on this thing as it's moving into more moisture-rich air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm 6 miles east of Butler on 33, and you can see we went from a big blocky wall cloud to that's almost a big bowl that's sitting back in there. And as we were talking about, just kind of going through its cycling phase the last time you talked to me. But that thing is a lot lower than the last wall cloud that we had in there. And you can tell by the shot, it's almost just like a big bowl feature hanging back there. So trying to let the traffic get around me here. There's quite a bit of rotation with it. Like you were saying, it's broad. I don't see anything really tight and localized right now. But that whole thing is turning, and we still have those winds blowing into it at about 30 to 35, Aaron.
Yeah, of course, those winds coming into it, that's concerning. That's really only keeping this thing going, acting to just add fuel to the fire for sure. Again, Butler, the good news is that circulation has moved off to the east of you. Still possibility of some wraparound hail in the town of Butler, definitely some heavy rain. Big time hail in north central Custer County. We're looking at that very carefully and approaching eventually Custer City, Arapahoe, and Clinton as this continues off toward the east. Might have accelerated just a little bit as of the last couple scans. It might have picked up a little bit of speed with it right there. Again, velocity is still a little bit muddy here, not seeing anything that shows really tight velocity in circulation, but again, we're watching it very carefully. Let's take a look here. There's Corey Inman's shot again. Let's go back to Corey. This might be wrapping up in some rain, kind of tough to see. Corey, what are we looking at here?
Yeah, right after you right after you and I quit talking there, Aaron, you could see the hail core just wrap around that mesocyclone. That whole thing is rain wrap now. All that rain and hail that was coming in there, it pulled it in from south to north and just wrapped it around that wall cloud. So trying to slide east so we don't get cored here and can hopefully get a better look at it. But right now that big bowl lowering that we were looking at just a few minutes ago is completely wrapped up in rain and hail. There is some blowing dust that's starting to blow into it back there. You can see it kind of at the bottom of the shot there, but just behind that hail core that you see there in the shot is that big bowl feature.
All right, yeah, really incredible presentation right there with all that hail coming in. It's we're talking about the tornado warning, and tornado warning really gets everyone's attention, but these thunderstorms are at the high end of severe thunderstorms, okay? So that means that you're not just going to get quarters and dimes and nickels as for hail. You're going to get a lot of the higher sizes along with this, and that's what's going to be happening. The storm right here that we're talking about in Custer County has a history of baseball-sized hail. Let's go back to Corey again. Man, is that the hail shaft right there? It looks like it might be.
Sorry, Aaron. Yeah, that's the hail shaft that wrapped around that big wall cloud there just before you pitched to me the last time. It was kind of concerning because we got that big gust of southeast winds, and you could see that hail core coming in from left to right, and it just wrapped itself right around that wall cloud. So we're continuing to slide east. There's a million people out here on 33 right now, so just trying to keep focus back there and make sure nothing happens and pay attention to what's going on in front of us. But this thing continues to evolve as it moves over towards Arapahoe.
Yeah, you're doing a really great job out there, Corey. Really, really good job. You've been with the storm all the way out in western Roger Mills County, which is right along the Texas-Oklahoma border. You've been watching it very closely. John Slater, meteorologist John Slater here. What are you seeing as far as the rotation in this right now?
Well, right now it looks like it's a little bit disorganized looking at it visually, but these things can change very rapidly, as Corey's been talking about, and as you well know. It only takes a couple of minutes for these things to just recycle and start intensifying rapidly again. It looks like there could be actually on radar two little circulations, one sort of ahead of it on the southeast side and another one back behind it. So maybe it's trying to reorganize just a little bit further to the southeast possibly. Mm-hmm. That can happen, and then you can see rapid intensification if that were to happen. So we're watching that right now. But overall, looks a little bit more disorganized than it did, say, about 15 minutes ago. Yeah. The hail core there, Aaron, as you can see, has come down a little bit as well. Mm-hmm. But the storm is still severe, obviously. And that other one, east of Cordell now, is coming up from the south. So those will probably merge. And quick look at some of these temperatures. Low to mid-80s here in central Oklahoma. So very warm conditions. See some low 90s in southwestern Oklahoma. Look at all the wind out of the south, gusting over 30 miles per hour. And there are your dew point temperatures up close to 70. You can see the narrow axis of the highest dew point temperatures right through the west part of the metro area. So as these storms move east, potentially they could intensify just a little bit. Hopefully not. We're watching it, Aaron.
All right, appreciate that. Getting a report right here from the National Severe Storms Laboratory. They're out there following this, and they're likely some of the ones that we saw earlier in Corey's live stream with the Doppler on wheels. They measured 78 miles per hour of wind 5 miles east of Butler. Okay, so at the very least, this thing it's producing a lot of wind, and we knew that would happen today. And again, we're watching these cell mergers right here. As we see one south of I-40, this is the one that we're watching right now that does have the tornado warning on it. This is Custer County. The warning has been extended, so now it includes Arapahoe and Clinton right along I-40. There's the circulation, as John Slater was saying. It's still very broad, but the entire thing is rotating. That last little, hey, John, tell me what you think, but this last little scan north and east of Butler, that might be a little closer. It's tough to tell. What do you think about that?
It looks like it could be intensifying.
Yeah, it might be intensifying a little bit right here where we have the hotter green. And can we pause that for just a sec on the last frame right here? So we have the hotter green and the hotter red, and they're getting a little bit closer together. So yes, the whole storm has been rotating. That's been persistent for the last 2+ hours. But right here, they're getting a little bit closer. So this is Butler, and we're about 5 to 6 miles off to the north and east of Butler, traveling just north of 33. Here's the heads up. Custer City. If it continues going due east, right toward Custer City. You're not in the tornado warning. let's say that you are right now, okay? Because this thing has put down a couple funnels, rain-wrapped tornado earlier in north central Roger Mills County. It has a history, and it's moving into still a favorable environment. So Custer City, Arapahoe's in the warning. It's likely going to go just north of Clinton the way it looks right now. But Clinton, sirens likely sounding down there. Again, there's the rotation moving just off to the north. Let's go back to Corey Inman right here, and Corey's right on top of it. Just a lot of rain, a lot of hail wrapping into this thing. It's been cycling on and off all day. What do you got?
Yeah, Aaron, we are almost due north of Arapahoe here, looking back to the northwest. And the wind gusts that you were reporting from the Doppler on wheels doesn't surprise me. That was kind of right in that area where the hail core just kind of swung in there and wrapped around that big bowl wall cloud that we were showing you. Still getting just a tremendous amount of inflow here, blowing back into that area. But the circulation's kind of broadened out. And you can see we don't really have that big bowl feature after it got wrapped up in rain. Haven't had a new one that's formed there. Almost looks like maybe a new circulation might be trying to form directly over 33. So we get to get over here to the highway and shoot south just a little bit. We should have a better look at that new area of circulation. But looking back into that rain and hail core back there, and I don't see anything that looks like that big bowl lowering that we had just a few minutes ago.
All right, great report there from Corey Inman, doing a fantastic job. Also watching Mike Bennett's stream in northern Oklahoma and Eric Dixon as he's approaching this. We'll go to Eric Dixon here in just a second. Let's go to Lynx and watch what we've got going on here. So 2 dominant storms right now. The strongest by far is the one that has the tornado warning in Custer County. Also pretty heavy activity up in Dewey County, so this is far off to the north. And now severe thunderstorm warning on the southern cell has been extended just short of Canadian County. It goes into Clinton, far northern Caddo County, and we're going to see what happens when these merge. We talk about constructive or destructive cell mergers. You know, sometimes one will get in the way, kind of choke off the circulation. We hope that happens with this one. That might disrupt it and slow it down. Sometimes they gather up and the larger cell will actually suck in the smaller cell. And I'll tell you, this southern one, this has a lot faster velocity. It's moving at about 50 miles per hour. All right, so 50 miles per hour puts it in Lookeba, about 752, hitting 755, and Bridgeport approaching I-40, just shy of 8 o'clock. So that has quite a bit of speed to it right there on the southern storm. The northern storm, well, this one's actually moving quite slow. It's moving at about 15 to almost 20 miles per hour, just lazily moving along through Custer County. And it looks like it's trying to almost occlude right now. So I'll show you what that means here. Occluding is when it kind of wraps up and chokes itself off. So we have inflow coming in right here. Actually, that's a couple radar scans old. So we have the inflow coming in. I'll show that to you. We'll put this on right now. We'll stop it. So yeah, there's a lot going on in there. So that's a lot of air being moved upward. We have the inflow coming in right in that notch. This is just north of Arapahoe. There's air coming in. This is air coming around and back, and that's hail all in there. And this spot right here, that's where you'd expect to have the developing tornado as air is moving upward and out of the storm. So if we go ahead and take that off, we'll look at velocities, and we'll show you what's happening inside of it as far as the storm spinning. So here we go from Twin Lakes, velocity, and kind of look right in that same area where that notch is. And yeah, that's where you see the velocity couplet, or you see that spin happening. Again, right there, it looks to go just barely north of Arapahoe, very, very close. It's going to be a close call for sure. And eventually into southern and eastern parts of Dewey County. Custer City, tornado precautions. You're not technically in the warning. Tornado precautions. Here comes the area of spin. Let's go back to Corey Inman here watching this again.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm just north of Arapahoe. I'm looking back in there. While we were off air here, I had a phone call from another chaser that's back in there that had a tornado on the ground and had debris in there just to the north of 33. So that's going to be probably 4 or 5 miles to the northwest of Arapahoe and just north of 33. And just getting a picture confirmation of that right now. There was a tornado on the ground back in there. Okay,
and how long ago do you estimate that report was, Corey?
That was about 2 minutes ago, Aaron.
2 minutes ago. Hey, Corey, the right-hand side of your shot that we're looking at, something's moving pretty quickly. Is that a rain foot, or what are we looking at?
Yeah, that's the rain and the hail core, and that may be based on the location that I received. It may be right back in there in that rain and hail core. That's going to be just north of Arapahoe, getting ready to cross the highway here.
Okay, crossing the highway, we're potentially watching a rain-wrapped tornado right now.